Hey, Tim Berglund here. Sometimes people at work ask me, what kind of webcam do you use? Your picture looks really great. And well, thank you. But it's not really about the camera. I do want to talk about my setup a little bit, but I really want to organize it into 3 tiers of possible stages of home office video call optimization. So I think this is organized into 3 tiers. Number 1, you definitely want to do if you can. Number 2, you might want to explore. Number 3, I think you should under no circumstances approach or even think about. It's not something that a well-ordered mind would consider to be a good idea. But here they are. So yeah, people ask me about my camera all the time, but the reality is lighting is king. And the number 1 easiest, cheapest thing you can do to make your video calls look great is to face a window and work during the day if that's an option. Laptop webcams need a lot of light, and a window is a lot of light relative to what they're expecting. And so you're just going to look better. It'll be less grainy and you're just going to be better off. Also, a window is a large uniform light source. Contrast that with like a bulb, like looking at a bare bulb off to the side or something. That big light source creates what we call a soft light, and you won't see any harsh shadows on your face. So it'll kind of fill in your whole face and help you look your best. So let me show you for an example here. I'm going to turn off my backlight, turn off that light. Oh, it's very dark. And when I come back on, see, and we'll fix up the white balance. Notice I've got kind of these like shadows under my eyes. It's not a good look. Maybe I could make this look better by moving around the room or something, you know, I don't know. But this is not a great kind of lighting. In fact, it's so terrible. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to bring it back. There we are. Whew, that was a close one. That, by the way, that look, that overhead lighting, in movies, they'll use that to make people look older or kind of sad or things like that. That's like usually a negative kind of thing. Also, with the window saves you from that. But don't be backlit. Don't have the window behind you. That's exactly what you don't want, like this picture of me right now, just on my regular laptop webcam. If I turn around and face the window, then I'm nice and evenly illuminated. And there I am. It looks like I'm reciting Holy Sonnet 14 by John Donne. And hey, for that little camera, I look pretty good. So what if you don't have a window in your office? I actually don't in my office right here. What if you can't work during the daytime? What if that's too much light and you just don't like all that light in your face like that? That's all possible. Your next option would be something called a ring light. Now, a ring light is just what it sounds. It's a ring. That's lights. And it normally goes around a camera lens to provide like really even illumination for your face. But it's also kind of a cheap way to get, you could put it on a little stand, a small tripod, behind your laptop, like right behind and above your laptop. You want that to be as close to your face as possible, as comfortable. But that's going to, again, be a larger, more uniform light, kind of simulating the window. And you can get those for under $100 with, relatively low-cost LED bulbs in them. Your next option from there is called a softbox. Now, a softbox is like a lampshade that's dark on all sides except one, and that side is kind of this diffuse, sort of like shower curtain-y material that'll give you a nice soft light coming through it. And again, it's a big light source simulating a window. But it's a fixture that you put on a stand near your desk. So this is kind of a big deal here. It's a next level of kit, really. I recommend you get cheap LED bulbs to put in there. You don't have to buy any fancy bulbs, but daylight colored LED bulbs. It'll probably come with CFLs. Dispose of them safely. Do not illuminate your face with them under any circumstances. The nice thing about the softbox is you can position it. If the geography of your office allows, you can maybe like put it over here so the light is kind of coming from this side of your face and it gives you a little bit of contrast. Or if you're really into it, you can get 2 and have the second one maybe not as bright and sort of control those shadows. You can mess with that a little bit with softboxes. That's really next level. And this all depends, again, on whether the layout of your office allows it and that you're not creating any risk with little kids or pets or something like that running through and knocking them over. But if you want to go next level, you can. It's at this point, you're probably wondering, why has he not said to get a better webcam? Like I could get that HD webcam I've seen ads for. Well, a couple things. Number one, at the time of this recording during the COVID-19 crisis, right now, those things really can't be had for love or money. That's going to be a challenge to get one. Number two, I don't think that's your limiting factor. The camera on a regular laptop webcam is not that great of a sensor. It's pretty low resolution, but it's good enough. If you get the lighting right, you're probably going to look great. You can upgrade the camera. You might get a marginal benefit there, but the kinds of things you really want control over, you're not going to have unless it's like position, an external monitor or something like that. Otherwise, you're better off just optimizing the lighting. Now, again, I recommend that you stop now. Stop the video, close the browser tab. There's no reason for you to go on, please. But if you insist, I'm going to assume some photography knowledge for what I'm about to talk about, just to keep this short. But my camera that I'm shooting on is a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. The lens is the Voigtlander 17.5mm f.95. Now, the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera is great in low light, so I don't need anything like a lens that fast. But to get this nice creamy background that you see here on this camera with its sensor, you do need a pretty fast lens. So my office is actually fairly dark, even with this lighting. If you're just to walk in, it doesn't look like studio lighting. But to get that into the computer, I use the Magewell USB Capture HDMI, plug and play. You will not think about it at all. You will plug it in and Zoom will say, oh, hi, you've got a video source, or whatever application. It's nice and standard, works well. Now, my key light is a softbox that's kind of up there. It's mounted to the ceiling with a few little fixtures and mounts and brackets and things that I got from B&H. And that, again, has cheap Home Depot daylight colored LED bulbs. No fancy high CRI bulbs, just don't do it. They're in there bouncing off a textured wall that's in front of me. And so by the time that light gets to me, it is very, very soft, great light, really nice. So the backlight, you can see here, I'll just turn that off. So you can see there is a backlight there, doing a little bit of fill, little rim there on my shoulder. That's just a cheap LED fixture I had from a previous project. Lots of low cost little LED panels will work there with a blue gel in front of it to kind of make that a little cooler, bouncing off my shoulder. I also get typically a little bit of fill from the computer itself, the monitor. Right now I've got some very dark colored things on the screen, but usually there'll be some browser windows and somebody else's video from Zoom or whatever. And that's a little bit of fill on my face. It actually doesn't look good if there's too much white on the screen. So I try to keep that as dark as possible. So how about that blue splash behind me that you see there? You didn't even notice that, did you? Now you can't unsee it. You're looking at the teddy bear. You can't unsee the teddy bear. That really is there just to look nice. Blue is typically a good background color to have behind people. And it's just there to look pretty. It's another one of those cheap LED panels I had lying around with a darker blue gel over it, and it's just there for interest. So that is it. Now, I've got a parts list in the video description and in the blog post if this is a thing you really want to try, this phase 3 stuff. But honestly, I think a ring light or just facing a window is going to help you look your best on video. And I hope if you're new to working from home and you're really trying to optimize what your video call setup looks like, I hope you're happy with how you look and that you can get a lot of work done and enjoy your workday. Above all, I hope you stay safe and healthy. Thanks.